Hello everyone, this is Maureen and welcome to my Sunday edition of my works in progress, some finished objects that I might have completed this past week, and what do I have coming up for you this next week. But first, let me say thank you to everyone that is here today. If you are a returning subscriber looking to see what I have for you not only today, but what's coming up next week, thank you so much for your patronage. I really do appreciate it. Now, if you're new to my channel, which means if this is the first time you're seeing me, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you never miss any content that I put up. So, what have I been up to this past week? Well, I did get finished with the little fox, the little red panda, and he is well on his way to where he needs to be. He'll be opened up on our great-grandson's birthday here in just a couple of weeks, so I'm really hoping he's going to enjoy him. I started this last week a second amigurumi. I'm participating in Anita's from Y.O.H, Yarn Over Hook Crochet. She is the instigator of this year's 2023 Amigurumi Wars. I shouldn't say instigator, she's the creator of it. But anyway, she's kicked off the month of January for us for this next year. I've already submitted one item, which was the red panda. Now, this second one that I'm doing is called the Naughty Snowman. So I have all of his little pieces finished. This is his head. Now, I did him in 4-weight acrylic. I think the pattern called for a DK weight, but I don't work so much in my amigurumis with that. I like the 4-weight. So he is a little bigger than what the pattern is going to call for. But so there's his head. Here's his little body. So I'll be putting that all together later sometime today. Here's his little arms. Whoop, come here. There's his arms. I'll have those done. And I think my nose got a little bigger than what the pattern called for, but that's okay. He's got a big head, so he's definitely going to need a big carrot nose. And he comes with his own little scarf. Now, hers is red, but I had some of this left over from my Bodapalooza hat that the crochet along that we're doing with Lala over at Mad Mimi's Farming and Crochet. So I made his little scarf out of that to go along with his hat, because again, on the hat it had a red ribbon here, and so I had the scarf to match it. Now, I have to tell you, I don't know what I have done wrong with this hat. I mean, I really don't, because in the pattern, it shows it to decrease just a little bit right here when you get to the brim. And I can't tell you how many times I backed up and came back. Backed up and came back. 3 times I did that. So mine is still, it looks more like a top hat. A stovepipe, I think is what they used to call them. So, I don't know. But he's going on there anyway. He's going to sit there cocked off to the side just a little bit. So I figured, well, it's still going to look cute. Let's see, there's the hat. We have some little eyes here. Now, this does not require the button eyes. We're going to put these big old, like, coal pieces on there. And then I debated back and forth, folks, whether to do as the pattern called for, and that was to give it 3 little crocheted buttons, or to just get some black buttons and put on there. I'm still wavering back and forth on that one, so I don't know which one I'm going to do yet, but I did go ahead and crochet them to get them all together. So that is my one amigurumi that I will get finished up for this Amigurumi Wars project. Let me stuff all my pieces back in here so I don't lose them, because I am notorious for losing pieces, especially if they're little bitty. Alrighty, so I'm going to stick that right there, get it off to the side. Now, that really is the only amigurumi that I'm doing that's not part of my weekly amigurumi, you know, that I have scheduled on Wednesdays. So I'll show you those when it comes up Wednesday. All right, so this week's hat that was chosen by Lala, Mad Mimi's, you know, she's doing the BAGODAY or Potapalooza hat where she draws, or her computer draws for her randomly a hat pattern of crystals at BAGODAY. And so this last week was this cute little bucket hat or sun hat that she'd made for her daughter. It was hers. She had made it for children, really for babies up to like about 24 months, but she said, you know, it's really easy to adjust the pattern, which is what I did. I made it for adult like myself, and the only change that I did make to the pattern was she had a big old crocheted flower here, which looks cute if it's on a kid, I think. Now this is my personal opinion that I think, but for me, if I was going to keep this, I didn't want a big old crochet flower stuck off on the top of my head. So what I did was, you can see here, I just got me some silk ribbon, and I wove it in and out amongst these double crochets here, and then I just tied it off. And I think, like, if I was going to keep this and wear it, that looks a lot better for me than this big old flower stuck off on the top of my head. Now, do you know what this hat made me think of? Remember back Victorian age, even later, like in the early colonial periods, they would put little hats or bonnets on top of their heads to sleep in at night, you know, to keep their head or their hair set. That's exactly what it reminded me of. I'm sure that's not what Crystal was going for, but that's where my imagination went. I do think the hat is cute. It is not my style, but hopefully someone out there when I donate it will appreciate it and will enjoy wearing it. So those are all of my makes that I wish to share with you for this week. I do have some other things going on, but you know, that pertains to what day of the week that I'll be showing them to you. So on Mondays, Basic Stitch Series. I still haven't decided, and I know this is Sunday, so I'll be doing it later this evening, folks. So I know I got to get on the stick. I haven't really decided which stitch I want to introduce to you next week. I mean, you know, when you start planning out things on your calendar, start going down a rabbit hole, well, that's where I've gone for this stitch of the week. I've gone down the rabbit hole. I have so many stitches and so many little projects that go with each stitch for you that which one do I want to do next? And that's where I'm at. So I guess I'm just going to have to write them all down, stick them in a cup, and just go, and that's the one you get for tomorrow, but we'll wait and see. On Tuesday, on my moving on up series, I do have the project there planned for you. We'll be looking at taking the thicket stitch, and I've combined it into a hat pattern that I like to call Into the Thicket of Things. So I hope that you'll enjoy it, and you'll be there on Tuesday to see how the little project came up. Now, on a side note, after I finished my hat, I had to run by Michael's yesterday to pick up some ribbon because I was looking for a specific color of yellow. I also picked up some black, and I showed the two to my husband. I said, okay, which one do you think? And he chose the golden yellow there, so that's the one we went with. Well, you know how you're over there at the ribbon section, and I mean the yarn section was like right there? I was good. I did not go down the yarn aisle, but you know what happened to me? Out in the middle of the aisle, they had a kiosk there of the two new Caron cakes that have just come out. The Blossoms and the Cinnamon Swirls, is that right? Anyway, they didn't have any colors that I liked on the, I'm going to say Cinnamon Swirls, I think that's the name. But man, when I turned on the other side of the kiosk, there was a blossom that not only immediately caught my eye, but it also immediately popped into my head a shawl pattern that I had designed years ago. So, not this week, probably not next week, but in the next upcoming weeks, I'm going to say at least no more than 3. Let's say 4. Okay, let's not put that stress on me. I found the Caron Blossom Cakes in the colorway Macaw. Now, is that not a beautiful mixture of colors for spring and early summer? And like I said, as soon as I saw this cake, before I even knew what the name of it was, I immediately thought of this lightweight spring, early summer, to where, you know, like in the evenings when it's still chilly, shawl that I had designed. And that's what I'm going to share with you. Now, it does have a very, very pretty shawl pattern here that they've already made up so that you can see what the colors would look like. And if you were to do this pattern that is on the inside of this label, it would take 3 of them to make, 3 of these cakes to make the shawl. Now, that's all I'm going to share with you about this one. I will tell you that, in case you haven't seen it yet, that BAGODAY did 2 parts to the new Caron cakes that came out. Folks, she has done the most extensive review I have seen anyone do on new products that come out. I mean, I'll put a link down on the bottom for you to go, in my description box, for you to go and check it out. Not only on these cakes, but on the cinnamon swirls is what I'm going to call them. And if I'm wrong, you can go ahead and correct me down there in your comments. But I mean, she just, every which way you could play with that yarn and test it and see what it does and what she likes and doesn't like about it. I mean, she did it. She put them both through the ringer, and it was an awesome review. But anyway, so that's for a future project. Just go ahead and throw that out there to you. Now, you know that on Wednesdays, I am doing my own little amigurumi project. And it is from this book, Crochet Zodiac Dolls, by Carla Matrani, I think, or Matrani. I got the book off of Amazon. I am doing the doll Sagittarius. Let me see if I can find her picture here. I know I shared her with you last week. Folks, I'm moving right along with her. And the pattern is just so easy to do. There she is. And I have decided that instead of the blonde hair, I am going to go with the light blue hair. I'm going to make her exactly like she is. Because I was making this for my daughter, whose birthday is the 31st of January, which definitely puts her within the realm of being a Sagittarius. But I kept flipping back and forth. Do I make her hair blonde, because she is blonde-headed? Or do I leave it like this? But I think I'm just going to make it a true Sagittarius birthday doll and let it go at that. Now, if you looked at last week's video on the start of that, you will see that I got a wild hair, and I've decided to make another doll for my granddaughter in February, because that's her birthday. And there she is, little Sophie doll. This pattern you can find on Amigurumi Today, and her name is Sophie. Now, I put in my video for that particular day, I want to really personalize this doll. And so if you go and watch that video, you'll see that I am taking votes as to whether I make her dress in the colors of her first teaching post. She is a pre-K teacher, and so, you know, in the bigger schools, like in Arlington, Texas, which is where she's teaching, even their little elementary schools have their own colors. And so I didn't know if I should make her little dress in the colors for her first teaching post, or if I should put it in the colors of the college she graduated from. So I'm allowing y'all to kind of help me decide there. I'm not going to tell you which one it has the most votes at the moment, but I will be letting you know this coming Wednesday which vote won and what color I will be making her little dress here in. Okay, so that takes care of Wednesday. On Thursday, That's my Sophie's Universe journey. It's the big crochet along that I'm doing with Carrie the Yarny Elephant. Now there are, I think, a few other groups out there that are also doing their own crochet along with Sophie's Universe. I don't know which one it is that you're participating in, but if you would like to join all of us, I'll leave a link to Carrie's channel so that you can go and check her out and contact her if you'd like to get in on the Facebook group and on the Zoom room that we have set up for this. I am through sections 1 and 2, and I'll be happy to show you on Thursday what my progress looks like at the moment. I really am enjoying this. Now, I'm not going as fast as a lot of other folks because I have other irons in the fire, so to speak. So, but I will be sharing with you how far I've come, the kinks in the road, the bumps in the road that I have found, you know, for myself and what I had to do, this, that, and the other. Fridays, Southern Sisters are back, folks. Connie was able to get her technology issues taken care of, so last week we were at my house, but this week we will be at Connie's house, all handmade Connie. And like I said, the Southern Sisters, that's what you'll see the title under, but we will be at her house, so be sure that you look for that notification because I know she's already got it scheduled out there. And I have no idea what we're going to talk about yet. I know she does, but we haven't had a chance to sit down and talk so we can kind of get there on the same page. But I do hope that you'll join us. It'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern. So I'm just going to leave it up to you to figure out what your time zone is if you wish to catch us. And then on Saturday, finishing out the week, I'll be posting for the next week our journey through gratitude. This is my year-long topic, gratitude journaling and I put in here for all people of God instead of just for women, because you know what? We don't want to leave anybody out, because gratitude is something that we should all learn to practice every single day. So why just for women? I think everyone will enjoy what this book has to offer for us week by week. So some future projects. Luck of the Draw will be back on February the 2nd. That's over at NANS Next Knox channel. I'll be sure and put a link down on the bottom if you wish to join us there. I think that this is project number 7, possibly 8. So some of you that have been with Nan from the beginning, you have 7 or 8. You have 6 or 7 completed blankets out there, and we're getting ready to start the next one. Like I said, I think it's project number 8, but I may be jumping the gun. It might just be project number 7. Either way, folks, this last time was my first time, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So I'll leave the link down there so that you can get all the particulars on it. So this morning, I woke up with an idea bouncing around in my head. And so I think that I would like to start my own crochet along. I'm still working out the kinks, but it kind of stems from various ideas of, really it stemmed from something personal that happened to me. And it was a good thing, folks, nothing bad. It was a good thing, but the idea has grown. And like I said, as soon as I get the kinks worked out, I'll be doing just a special short video on what it is that it's going to be and when I want to start it. But I will tell you that if I can get it going quick enough, I will want to start it the 1st of February. But that's all I have planned for you. I hope you've enjoyed the little bit that I showed you that I worked on last week, and that there's something for this next week that interests you and you'll be stopping by. As always, be the light in the darkness for someone out there today, because you never know, it could be your light that they need to see. And one other little thing, if you follow me in any of the Zoom chat rooms, I always post something every day that I hope is inspirational. And I always end it with, and don't forget or always remember, I love you best. So I think I'm going to start incorporating it here, because I want you to know that in those moments of doubt, when you're kicking yourself over some situation, I want you to stop and think, well, you know what? I know there's at least someone out there that loves me best. Bye. Thank you again for stopping by.